Welcome to She Built That with Julie Nichols, where I interview female founders about their journey to business success. Today, my guest is Michelle Tibble, a Chicago-based actor and owner of Awesome Balloon Creations, a variety, entertainment, and balloon decor business based in the Chicago area. She has appeared on stage nationally in the Broadway tour of Mamma Mia, graced the stages of Chicago and neighboring suburbs, and starred in a Cincinnati Bell commercial with Nick Lashay. Michelle, welcome to the show.
Best intro ever.
Oh my God. When we were practicing this, I called him Lick Lashay. Just everybody from now on. That's what we're now going to call Nick Lashay, is Lick Lashay. Everybody, Michelle and I have been friends forever. I want to say it was like 2009 or 2010. It was like somewhere around there.
I cannot watch Christmas Carol without thinking of you every year.
Michelle and I were in a production of Christmas Carol in the Chicago area at the Metropolis Theater in Arlington Heights. And they being our friend, Brad Dunn, he cast us in the show. He was the director. And I went to college with Brad, and Michelle was also friends with Brad before that from another show they did. And so when Brad cast the two of us together in the show,
he had no idea.
He had no idea
what he was doing.
He had no idea what was to then unfold, which was an insane friendship, an insane comedy duo. We just went nuts. We basically got all the best comedy bits in the whole show, and we started a YouTube series based on our characters, interviewing other actors from the show in their characters, and we just had a blast. It was before children, when we had time and the energy to do things like this, but it was so much fun.
Before podcasts, it was basically like this right now. This is the Crow and Dilbert show right now. I mean, like, I just want to throw a Cockney accent in there.
I know. Our characters, Crow and Dilbert, were like, you know, the dirty chambermaids who like go into Scrooge's after he's died, and they like steal all his stuff. So that gives you an idea of the kind of characters we played in the show, you know, very reputable people. And we had a total blast. But Michelle is also a business owner, as I mentioned in my intro. And I was like, I have to have Michelle on the show, because Michelle is one of the only people I know who started out her business. Like, I really feel like it was a super grassroots effort for you to build your clientele. And you were a business owner before I knew any business owners. Like, you, when I first met you, you know, 16 years ago, you already were, you know, your business was already like humming, and it's still going. Like, who does that, you know, to have a business that long in a business that's so dependent on referrals and, you know, getting in front of people, doing these events, doing these live performances. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to having you share with our audience everything about your business. So here we go. Michelle, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your business?
Okay, yeah, sure. So I started in the acting world. I started as a musical theater actor, and I had this crazy job in college. I think I was 19 years old, where it paid $15 an hour. And back then, like, that was like a whole lot of money, and I really wanted it, but you had to learn a circus skill. So I learned like 4 balloon animals, and I charmed my way into this job. And it was for an insurance company, and we had to like act stupid with people to get them into the tent to sign up for an app. And I learned how to twist balloon animals. And on that event, I met a bunch of clowns, and they taught me more balloon animals. And then they also opened this whole world up of variety art for me. They were like, oh my gosh, you're really good at this, and you can make a ton of money at birthday parties twisting balloons for kids, because you're really good with kids too. And I was like, oh, okay. And they sent me to a couple of variety agents, and I dressed up as different characters and princesses, and I did story time, and then I twisted balloons. And I wasn't twisting like just like lame balloons though. I was twisting like Disney princesses and superheroes and mermaids and
like next level.
And people really weren't doing that back then. So like you could really blow somebody's mind away with being Cinderella, telling the Cinderella story, and then giving the child a Cinderella balloon. I really wasn't charging enough money when I think about it.
You know, every entrepreneur's regret. I didn't charge enough money in the beginning. I swear. Every person I know that started a business has said that. So live and learn.
The other thing is before I wanted to be an actor, I wanted to be a cartoonist. So I also knew how to draw really well. And so I added face painting. And before you knew it, I had a huge base of moms and companies who wanted my services. And so much so that I had to turn a lot of people away.
But you were not in the Chicago area yet.
No, I was still in Pittsburgh. So
Okay.
I moved to Chicago, basically did the same thing where I was working mostly through variety artists, agents, and variety agencies and companies, and they would take a cut until finally I was like, why am I giving all of these other people a cut? And I'm busting my hump. And so I started racking up my own things. I like made a website and started racking up my own clientele. And I'd say like probably in my late 20s, I had so much business that I started sending other people out because I couldn't clone myself. And I was losing money by saying no to people. So I started using other people, sending them out. And I will say my client base at that time did not like that. Like it was very, very hard I had to figure out how to be an agent, how to sell other people, how to make them trust my recommendation.
Can we talk about that for a second? Because
yes.
like, I feel like you started your business being like, I have all these talents and I'm going to make money off of my talents. And this will be a great way for me to have a career doing all these incredible artistic things. And then suddenly you were kind of launched into being the head of an agency where now you were having to, oh, look, it's a dog.
Sorry, the dog is going to nag me until I put him on my lap. So
it's okay. If you're just listening, there's now a dog on Michelle's lap.
And
This is me. I'm the closed caption. But then having to suddenly be in charge of like jobbing out other people. How did you feel about that? Like, did you ever stop and be like, you know what, this isn't worth it?
Yes and no. You know what really mentally got me hung up is that for the longest time, before I had kids, I did not like money. Like the idea of charging people to entertain children made me feel icky.
Why?
And I don't know. Like I think it was just the idea of asking for money for my services just felt like you're charging for joy and joy should be free. And you're charging for laughter and laughter should be free. But I also had to pay my bills. And in my 20s, I just didn't like, I didn't care if I was poor. You know what I mean? Like we lived in a crappy apartment and we had broke down cars and like all this stuff. And the importance of it scared me a little. Like I was almost afraid to grow up. I don't know what it specifically was, probably a little bit of all of that. So when I had to start selling other people, I think the fear of that seeped through for a couple of years. The fear of just letting people down, like charging $200 for a birthday service to me because I was so poor at that time in my life. That was a lot of money to me. And I'm like, I can't believe these people pay $200 for a princess to show up. Now they pay $400, $600 for a princess to show up. But, back then, like I couldn't wrap my head around that because I was okay with living so poorly myself. I was okay with bottom of the basement, whatever, insert whatever here. Then I went on tour. I got Mamma Mia, and it forced me to use other people because I wasn't in town. Like they're just so, I really had to get over that fear. I was forced to get over that fear on tour, to be the agent and be okay with being an agent. And for some reason, I was able to let it go because I was kind of like, well, I'm not there, so I can't help you. Like, I can help you by being the agent, by setting you up with the 5 guys I know that I trust. And in order to pay for my little bit of time to set that up, I'm okay with that. And I took a really tiny cut too, because again, I had that money fear of making money for some, like, oh, what am I doing? I'm just like on the computer for 10 minutes. Like, I don't want to be one of those scummy lawyers that charges $25 for 5 minutes of time. You know what I mean?
So you were undervaluing yourself.
Yes. But
because that person who's calling you and who really needs something, what you're doing is saving them a huge amount of time and stress and worry. But at the time, that wasn't really your mindset.
Right. And when I had now that I have kids, I'm like, oh my God, I will pay you $50 to just make a phone call for me. I have no fucking time. Like, please go grocery shopping for me. I need it.
So now you are your ideal client in a way. I mean, you don't have an, exorbitant budget, to blow on, big party entertainment, but now you get it.
Yeah, I get it now.
You understand that value.
Yes. Like, I wasn't understanding the value because I had way too much time on my hands. Like in my 20s, you roll out of bed at 10 a.m., and unless you have an early gig, and then you do your gig, and then you go to Second City and you take some classes, and you stay up until 2 a.m. And
I mean, say that also, performers who go into business, I feel like we really undervalue ourselves because we are so used to getting like less than nothing.
Yeah.
And being expected to be grateful for that less than nothing.
Yes. That is a mind frame in theater that I absolutely hate now that I'm a real adult and I see it. And if I hear somebody over the age of 40 say, you should be grateful to be cast in this show, we can only pay you $100, I just want to slap that person in the face and be like, that 23-year-old deserves way more than $100. Yeah. Stop it. Stop. Yeah. I don't care if it's their first job. Like, it's a job.
I'm curious to know, when you were on tour and you were booking people, what did that look like? Like, how did you structure your day in order to make that happen?
So when you're on tour, unless it's a Saturday or Sunday, you don't really work until 5:00 at night. So, although I will say our tour got really hard towards the end, we were traveling a lot. So thankfully, I'm able to like look at emails and stuff and take phone calls. And the other thing is like, and I still do this today, I hate taking phone calls because let's say it's a 15-minute phone call. 10 minutes of it is listening to the person on the other side of the phone telling me what color napkins they're having at their party and and that their kids' favorite characters are X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, that's great. We don't need to know that. Like my artists can do anything, like, especially at a birthday party. If we have time, we can do anything. We don't need to know. But if it makes you feel better to tell me, great. However,
so, in essence, though, you're letting them express what they need.
Yeah.
To help them kind of feel like you're a good listener and that you're going to take care of them, and that, maybe that will, tip that'll be like the tipping point for them to be like, oh, okay, this woman seems to actually give a crap. And so I'll hire her because she listened to me talk for 15 minutes about Spider-Man.
Right.
I'm like, kid just wants Spider-Man everything. And you're like, I do not care. Put it in the form.
Yeah, just put it in the form. It's not that it's not even that I don't care. It's not that I don't care. Of course I care a little because it's nice to be prepared at the event. But it's just like now that I have less time, like I don't need to hear about all of it. And it is what it is. And sometimes we get older people on there that have literally not talked to anybody in days, and it's clear. And again, that's part of answering the phone. But listening to whatever they need to get off their chest to feel less anxious about this party coming up.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a huge part of
Yeah.
being a business owner, is that sometimes you just have to allot that time to lend an ear. And especially like when I talk with my clients or my prospective clients who are basically like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And I've got this and I've got that. And I'm like, yes, tell me more. Tell me more. I will be your therapist.
Be your therapist.
I am really good at listening. And then that really helps them to be like, okay, yes, this person is in my corner. They are rooting for me. They want to help me. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I will give you my money. But I think that's something that I think really sets business owners apart. Even if maybe you're not like the best at what you do, if you're really good at managing your clients and being a good listener and being kind and caring and have good follow-up, that's like 90% of it.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, it is. It absolutely is. I will say I never wanted to be a business owner. I never
tell us more about that.
In my 20s, especially, like I never wanted to be a business. Even now, like, could I open a store right now and have employees? I could. I don't want that. So
But you are a business owner.
I am a business, and I've been a business owner since I was like 21 years old. And that's like the crazy thing. It's like everybody always comes to me with business questions, and I'll tell you, I'm probably not the great. Half of the time, my good business practices are just pulling it right out of my ass. Like it's just like, especially if it's in person, like, let's say like I showed up in an event and I was not completely unprepared, but I was a little bit unprepared. 95% of the time I'm able to make it work in person because I love I love the energy of the other people. I'm good at on the fly improv. I'm good at
thinking on your feet,
thinking on my feet, thinking outside of the box on my feet. I almost don't love, and I can't do this with decor. You can't do it with decor, but I almost don't love to prepare too much for live performance.
Why?
Because then I overthink it and I feel fake.
Ooh.
So if I like having just a little bit of info, and this I got from Second City, just a little bit of info. Like if you read a newspaper, like for Second City, we would read the newspaper that day, and then we would write down 3 things that popped out at us, and that's what we would try to improv in our scenes that day. And that's kind of how I feel about performing at a live event, whether it's for kids or adults. Like, I just give me a little snippet of something and I'll run with it. Like I'm working for Progressive right now, and the marketing team could literally have like a 30-minute conversation with me every single event. And I'm just like, I don't need this. Just tell me what your tags are. You want to tell people that the insurance is for RVs? Great. Got 1,000 RV jokes. Just spit right out. Like, let's do it. But yes. I don't need to talk about RV jokes. I don't need to talk about how Progressive can package their RV with their dog. Like, I don't really need to know that. No one's going to ask me that. I'm a clown at the event. And if people are asking me at that event, then it's just kind of like, look, Gina's right over there. Like I'm not here to
you're
sell.
Such a great clown. Tell me more about Progressive
Tell me
insurance.
more about Progressive Insurance. Yeah.
Do you also do boat insurance?
We do.
We do. What's my deductible going to be, Michelle?
I don't know. Why did the bull cross the road?
I don't know.
Because you wanted to go to the movie theaters. I don't know. and theater and therapy are almost the same word. And it's almost like what I provide is a little bit of therapy in a way.
You kind of just blew my mind saying that theater and therapy are almost the same word. Oh my God. I'm going to go crawl. I'm going to have to get into the fetal position and think about that for a little while.
Yeah, you are.
I want to talk about becoming a parent.
Oh boy.
While you already had your business, you had been doing your business for a while.
Yeah.
And then you dropped a kid. And then you dropped another kid. You only have 2, but that's still a lot. I'd love to hear about when you first had your first child and what that was like, and then moving into child number 2, how that may have changed things.
So I did not prepare to have children financially. Because I'm always weird about money, and I'm not anymore. I've completely gotten over that fear, and kids like got me out of that, because I was like, if you don't pay me, I can't afford to pay my kids. So
right,
buck up.
Yeah, right.
Don't like
the money.
If I go to your birthday party, I'm missing my kid's soccer game. So cough it up.
The stakes, yeah, the stakes got higher.
The stakes got higher, and it wasn't about me, anymore. It's about them. So I get pregnant. We're like Dave wasn't making what he makes now then either, even though he had a real job with like benefits, and thank God we had those benefits, because that paid for everything like hospital wise. But I couldn't work, and so I had to rely on other people. But as an agent, you don't make that much money. Like, you make some money, but you don't make enough to like pay significant bills. So I was trying to like squirrel away money, but it's never enough. And I ended up having to go to events literally like 3 weeks after I gave birth. I was up and running again. I had to. I couldn't afford to pay bills. And I think the biggest thing that hit me was postpartum depression. And
there we go.
Yeah. And not knowing how to deal with that, and getting real like crazy, and having not a lot of patience for everything. I had an agent who was getting me significant like commercial work and stuff, and she dropped me because I think that I went on social media and said some really negative things. Like, social media was not good for me during that time. I should have gotten off of it, but at the time, no one else around me was really having babies. I was alone in a suburb. My family was 500 miles away. Dave's family wasn't around, and he would go to work. He also did not have paternity leave. So these are all things like, if you have your own business, you need enough money for time off. You need enough money for paternity leave, period. Because you shouldn't be home alone for the first 3 months either. Like, just because I was able to be home most of the time, I needed somebody else. And Olivia had colic. Like, there were moments where I had to let her cry in her room for a while because I couldn't deal with it, and I had nobody to help me.
A baby with colic and a mom with postpartum depression alone, that's like the worst combination.
It is.
That's a combination that then leads to news stories of people doing things that they regret. But having to be in that position must have been just so hard for you.
It was extremely hard. And I got through it. But I will say it was crazy on certain days. Like, I would go to work, and I was breastfeeding too. So Dave would literally follow us in a car, and in between events, I would breastfeed. Otherwise, she would scream bloody murder because like she wouldn't take a bottle. So that was a really hard. I'd say that was really hard 2 years. I wouldn't go back to those 2 years if you paid me.
Do you feel like you've blocked out a lot of those memories? I
I
feel like I have.
do. I do. It's a stored
I feel like
trauma.
that's part nature because like Mother Nature wants you to have more children. And
Yeah.
so she makes it really like convenient that you just like forget a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I think also a lot of it, I just purposely had to block out as a defense mechanism in
Yeah.
order to survive.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it was slightly easier for my second because we saved better. And Dave had paternity leave finally for his work. See, that's the other thing. Like when I had my first kid, I feel like the entire world hadn't caught up. Like now, like companies give paternity leave. Companies have like breastfeeding rooms, and like people who own their own businesses, they think about that more. Like postpartum depression is talked about a lot more now than it ever was when I was having my first kid, and I feel like my agent who dropped me during that time probably could have been sued or would have been more sensitive about the situation. Whereas I feel like the women who are going to have babies now in the entertainment industry, especially, have it significantly better than I did during that year. Because even like when my son was born, things slightly changed. Like things, there were like networks, and the other thing is like I had a 2-year-old, so I had friends at the park. You eventually you get friends at the park that have kids their age, and it's just easier. But that first kid is hard. So if you run your own business and you're thinking about having a first kid, like you really have to prepare for finances and mental health more than anything.
At what point did you feel like it was the right time to, go back to acting? And all the while you're still running your business. Like you're still doing all the things. And I know that COVID really changed the game for you.
It did.
I'd love to hear more about like how you had to pivot your business. And then at what point did you decide to start acting again?
So I went to one audition right after I had Milo, and it was awful. I couldn't afford voice lessons, so I was trying to like teach the song to myself with like weird YouTube videos. I don't think I had, because the YouTube video didn't like fit the sheet music, but I don't play piano, so it was hard to figure out. That director called me out in such a horrible way, and I won't say his name.
In the room?
In the room.
Oh my God. During the audition. Yeah.
During the audition, he basically said, the original person who sang that song is rolling in their grave right now.
Oh my God. That's so horrible. And also, what a great story. But like, what a dick.
What a dick. So
I'm assuming it was a man. I don't know. It just kind of sounded like something a man would say. Okay.
It was a man. That prevented me from wanting to audition ever again. And I went into hiding for like 5 years.
People just don't understand. And sometimes it just takes one moment of being unkind to just rattle someo's life for years.
Yeah.
Like people don't think, and especially people like that in a position of authority. And it just kills me because of like, clearly you didn't do the greatest performance ever. Sure.
But so like, just say thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
Yeah. Right.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah. Wow.
Full circle though. That same person cast me a couple years ago.
You're kidding.
Didn't remember what they said to me.
Oh, my
God.
I
mean, this is the other thing. Like, yes, be kind to people, but also be kind to yourself.
Wow.
Like you got to learn the art of not giving a fuck.
Yeah.
I hope you're allowed to swear on this. I'm just F-bombing left and right.
Yeah. I'll put the explicit on there. But like I think that's a huge part of how I'm able to deal with so much rejection as a business owner. Because that comes up a lot in networking groups about like just feeling like you can't like get the client, and it's so, it just brings you down so much. And for me, I'm like, I kind of treat it like an audition, because years ago, I kind of decided one day that every audition I went to was like a little mini show for me. And it was
Yeah.
basically like
Close that
my
door.
way of going in there and having so much fun and performing for this undivided audience. Like they just really had to look at me. And then as soon as I walked out, forgetting about it and being
Yeah.
like, I didn't get it. I
Yeah.
didn't get it. And that was just super fun. And it was just a way to kind of go in and do a little mini show. And then if I actually got a call for a callback or an offer, like that was like, oh, well, isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
So I feel like being an actor really helped prepare me for that as a business owner, of all the rejection.
Absolutely. It absolutely does. I forget what we were really talking about here. We got way off topic.
No, because we were talking about how you got back into acting.
Oh, so then one of my good friends reached out and said, "Hey, I'm doing this show and you need to be acting, and I don't know why you're not. Why don't you come audition?" And then she gave me the part in the show. And that was the start of me being like, "You're right. This is where I belong." And I love twisting balloons at events, and I love like all that stuff. It's fun, but when you have kids, it's really hard to entertain kids. Because most kid events happens on Saturday and Sunday, so I'm missing my own children's life. And when they started going to like elementary school, all of their activities were happening on Saturday and Sunday. I was missing everybody's soccer games and everybody's like dance recitals and stuff to be with other people's children. And I right before COVID, I was auditioning a lot. I was getting cast left and right. I was supposed to be the lead in a local production of Mamma Mia. And we started rehearsals and then COVID hit. But all during that year, even before COVID existed, like I was like, how can I start doing less FaceTime on these? Like, can I get more? Can I up my agent fee? Can I get more people to recommend? Like, what can I do? And I did start dabbling in decor that year pretty hardcore, because I was like, all right, if I'm going to go to this birthday party, I want to make $1,000 or I want to make $800. Like I want to make it worth my while, so that I only have to do one party instead of 4 to make up for that. I also started doing a show, like a balloon show, because I wanted to charge more for that show and do public events. Where, there are a lot of variety artists that'll charge between like $500 and $1,000 to do a public event. And then that's only 1 hour of my life instead of the whole day. So I was starting to think about things like that. Then COVID hits and everything got dropped and everyone's looking for yard balloons. And I'm like, well, shit. I know how to do balloon decor, but yard balloons is very different from balloon decor, because you're dealing with the elements and you're dealing with keeping it up and all of these things. And some of the other variety performers, there was one woman in particular, I'm just going to throw her name out, Balloon Coach, ballooncoach.com. And she started a group for women and, well, anybody, but it was mostly women, to learn the ins and outs of decor. So I paid a buttload for her to teach me all of the little things about decor. And the things that I didn't know were like, like how to build a frame for something. Like I never thought I'd be buying EMT piping and bending it, or with
all that stagecraft stuff started paying off.
All that stagecraft started paying off. I only had like 6 months worth of stagecraft experience. So like it really was like starting from day one, like stagecraft 101, how to cut a piece of wood. And here's a power drill, So learned all that stuff as quick as I could, because I had orders coming out the ears for balloon decor and balloon thing. I had to pivot hard too, because I'm like, oh my God, like I think like $30,000 worth of work went completely out the window on like March 20th or whenever that was. And I was like, like my whole summer was gone. And I was like, shoot, I don't know what we're going to do. I remember going to Target and returning all of the summer clothes I had just bought my kids. And because I was like, I might need this $200.
And then you then made decor the main part of your business.
I did. And I'm like, I love this. I love this way more than entertaining even. Like, or entertaining at parties, not theater and like
right.
I would
doing like the birthday party thing.
Yeah, if I could live on theater in Chicago, I would. But so I can't.
But
nobody can.
No one can. Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Wah, wah. So I was like, oh my God, I love this. This is so much fun. This is right up my alley. It's visual. It's art. It's like sculpture. It's like cartoons. It's everything that I love. And then I just took all those classes. I mean, I literally took every single decor class I could take so I could learn every single thing I could learn about decor. When things started coming back, I was ready to pivot from yard stuff to
That's
indoor
amazing.
stuff.
So it all just kind of came together, because then you're, focusing most of your business on the decor stuff, which is something that you build during the week and then just go and install on the day that you need it. And Michelle hired me when I was unemployed to come and help her put balloons around like some sort of conference we went to. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, everybody, but Michelle told me to put these balloons over here. So I feel like I got to see you working behind the scenes, and it was awesome, because I was like, oh my God, this is how she does it. It was so cool. And then that allowed you to have your theater career. So it sounds like, it really all worked out in the end.
Did.
And then what's like, to finish this up, because we got to wrap it up. But like,
I know, sorry, I talked too much.
No, it's okay. You go into detail, which is what I love. I want to know, like, what's next for your business and or career?
What is next? Ugh, I don't know. I mean, I will say this. I'm getting a lot of corporate events. Like, I love it. I love doing the corporate events because usually they have like wild ideas that they not only want to try, but have the money to try it.
That's awesome. So anybody out there who works for corporate and needs some amazing balloon decor, give Michelle a call. My last question for you, Michelle, is I think whatever is on everybody's mind right now is, what was Nick Lashay like in that Cincinnati Bell commercial? What was it like to work with Nick Lashay?
Nick Lashay sat in his RV or whatever you want to call it the entire day, while myself and another actress and a puppet, we were working with a puppet, which was awesome. The puppet guys were fantastic. And we were working with this puppet. Then Nick Lashay is supposed to like hop in and save the day like a superhero. And he came out for like 10 minutes to hop in and say his line and then left. So he was fine, I guess.
Did he
was fine.
Sign autographs or
no autographs, no funny jokes, just
I guess that tracks.
Lick Lashay.
Lick Lashay. Can lick my what.
Came in and licked it and came right out. Oh my God, what did I just say?
I don't know. But now it's going to be on the internet. All right, everybody. Well, Michelle, thank you so much. How can people find you?
If you want to see pictures, Instagram is best. So, awesome.
What's your Instagram handle?
Awesome Balloons Chicago. If you want to book me, awesomeballoon.creations.com.
Perfect. I love it. I'll put all that in the show notes so that people can look you up. And do you ever do gigs outside of the Chicago area?
Hell yeah. I actually work for Progressive, and they send me all over the place. So I do go further than Chicagoland.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. Your story is so interesting and incredible, and it was really kind of fun. I learned some things about you that even I didn't know.
Well, good.
And so thank you so much for sharing all about your business and your life with us. And thank you all for listening. This is She Built That with Julie Nichols. I am Julie Nichols. I am a small business marketer. So if you've got a small business and you need help getting noticed online, in person, wherever, reach out to me. You can find me at julienicholsmarketing.com. That's NICHOLS marketing.com. And thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye.